Greetings sailors and welcome back to Warships and another kind of squashy British cruiser. This one is not a new one exactly, but I haven't actually done a video on it before, the Hampshire. And what the Hampshire is essentially a stretched version of the Surrey. It's the stretch limo Surrey, and it has, as you can see, an extra turret. So it actually resembles more a Japanese cruiser in its turret layout, but it does have some rather different characteristics compared to its tech tree peers. Why the Hampshire though? Well, if we go to the armory, and hopefully it will load nice and quick, as part of the absolute soggy mess that is the armory these days, with the just sheer overwhelming number of everything they've decided to throw at the game all at once. Well, one of them is this Navigator Treasures event, and essentially if you grind enough tokens and get all the way through, one of the things you can get is the Hampshire for a fairly steeply discounted price compared to a normal tier 8 premium. It's 40% off there, as you can see. There's also some other things. This is, I think, also partly to do with there's another, where are we? Another cruiser, a Spanish cruiser, Numancia, or however one pronounces that. It's another Vickers design. I don't, is that one of the tech tree ones? I don't even know. But basically, it's to entice you to buy bundles, and there's a couple of missions that come along where you can play them in either the Hampshire or the Numancia. And yeah, well, I thought I would take a look at the Hampshire because I've definitely streamed it before, but I haven't actually done a video on it before. But just before we do go in, is that the tech tree? I'm curious if that's the tech tree or not, because they do this. They split up a bunch of... no, it is not the tech tree tier 8. It's another tier 8 entirely. So I don't know. I don't know what the characteristics of that will be, but we might even be able to see in the armory itself, if it will let us check out the ship. Not really. Okay, I could probably go and browse FT and like see the actual numbers, but yeah, it looks kind of squishy, and it says it's based off the Emerald class, and at tier 8 that's going to be very squishy indeed. So anyway, also, I've just realised that is actually showing me... oh no, okay, right, that's... I was thinking, oh, that's the first bundle, because sometimes it's like the very first bundle you get is the thing, but no, that's because I'd clicked on that. No, okay. It would have been fun if that was the case, but... and I'd somehow missed it till this point, but no, it's because I'd clicked on that, so well done me. Anyway, so this isn't going to be about that, because I don't have that. And I don't particularly wish to spend God knows how many doubloons trying my luck with the slot machine for that. So instead we're going to do the Hampshire, because it is actually surprisingly decent. Now one of well, two of the major drawbacks of this, in fact its main major drawbacks, are the fact that it does not have high explosive, and it does not have a heal, and that's probably the bigger drawback overall, because yeah, this thing has got British cruiser armour, and because it's actually, you know, longer than the Surrey, it's basically got a bigger citadel to go along with that as well. So yeah, at least I think it does. It would be surprising if it didn't. Yeah, there we go. So it's definitely, yeah, definitely longer than the Surrey, but not that it really matters. It's just kind of squish and will eat pens from angles that, you know, some other cruisers at this tier would be able to shrug off at least, but not this thing. So what are you getting for those drawbacks? Well, you're getting a very, very good concealment at 9.3 kilometers, and to compare that to the Edinburgh, I think that's about roughly the same. There we go, 9.2. Slightly better, but for a heavy cruiser, I mean, Albemarle is 9.8, Surrey itself is 9.7, so yeah, that's very good for a heavy cruiser, but by far the better thing that it has going for it, aside from its stealth, and it can incidentally just about stealth top, is the fact that it has a very, very tasty 10-second reload, which is really good on a heavy cruiser. But of course, you don't get high explosive with that. It does, I'm pretty sure, have the improved AP angles of some of the other British cruisers. So I don't know if it'll actually show me this now in the features list. This is an overhaul that they put in, but no, it doesn't actually say. But yeah, if you get broadsides, it's pretty good, and you can slap things around quite consistently. And the torpedoes are pretty decent sometimes as a top up to damage as well. Not particularly fast, but yeah, you've got a good range as well. So yeah, you've also got as catapult, mix of or a choice of spotter and fighter. I tend to take spotter because, where is it? It's artillery, isn't it? The default firing range is okay, but sometimes having that spotter to extend it is useful. You also get to have both defensive and hydro at the same time as well, although the AA, I mean, it's okay. I think Cheshire has actually got better AA, if I remember correctly, but Cheshire does not get the defensive to go with it. So, you know, as far as cruisers go, it's all right. So yeah, let's hit battle. And actually, I've normally hit battle already, but there was a few more things to go through this time, and see what kind of matchmaking we get. I might also do something a bit different this time. I might do one random battle and actually take it through its paces in ops as well, because this one is surprisingly good in ops, just because it has that rapid rate of fire. Some operations it's less suitable for. It really is kind of luck of the draw, but if there's an op where you get a heal, then it's very good. And even sometimes when there aren't, you can still kind of make it work, but you've got to be a lot more careful. So we have got a tier 9 match, and that's a fair number of enemy cruisers, so we might be able to get some decent side shots. But as with all AP only ships, it's going to struggle when things start to angle, especially battleships. You might get some superstructure hits if you're lucky, but it's kind of on RNG at that point if you're going to do any damage or not. You can be aiming as nicely as you like, but you know, the superstructure is always going to be a harder target than the broadside of a ship. So we'll see how we do. It is going to work in my favour that there's only 2 destroyers. That stealthiness might actually be quite useful in this one. It's also an arms race match, interestingly. So we'll see how we get on with this. Right, given the Richelieu is basically buggering off towards the centre of the map, I think we won't plan on trying to stick it out here. The Adriatico's setting up to try and grab that. They do, of course, have this fuel smoke. But we'll see what they spot. We can potentially use these islands here to do a bit of pew-pewing. And, of course, if something is spotted, the spotter plane itself might come in very handy. So there's the first thing just about to drop. That is a reload boost, actually, which might be quite handy. Can get even faster pew-pew. So a 9-second reload now. This is the first time I think I've played this in this game mode. So yeah. Oh, that is torpedoes. Okay, so there is an enemy destroyer there. We don't know which one. We're going to turn around. The turret traverse on this is pretty decent. I have to say, one of the other good things about this is it does have a pretty nice set of angles, like especially that front mid turret. You can quite often, without angling too much, have 3 of your 5 turrets available, which is kind of useful. And it doesn't take that much angling to have all 5 of your turrets available. So yeah, that is a very nice feature of this. I think Little White Mouse would certainly... I don't know if she's covered this one, but if she has, she would certainly have approved of that. It's one of the things that she... I don't know if famously is the right word, but I think she's somewhat well known for being quite biased against poor turret angles. It's one of her particular, you know, preferences that if she can have good turret angles, she's happy, and if she doesn't, well, she's not really going to put up with it she doesn't have to. Okay, the Adriatico actually coming off quite nicely in that engagement. The Akazuki not so much. He's been forced to back off. Still don't know what destroyer picked up that there, because I don't think it would have been the Akazuki, because they've come from this side. So I guess we'll see. This thing isn't super responsive, but I would rather have the stealth of the concealment module than the extra rudder shift. I think that, generally speaking, is going to be more useful for keeping you alive for longer. Right, the Adriatico making a run for it, which is rather bold of them. There's the Izumo. I don't have any shots on that breast, which is the only thing right now I could shoot at. And I will have to be aware of potentially getting hit from that Izumo. Okay, damage buff. What are we up to now? 5k. Oh, we've actually got 2 reload buffs now, so we're at an 8-second reload. This thing's going to be a machine gun for a heavy cruiser. There are... Oh, it's San Diego. There's this. Okay, maybe that's what picks up the buff that was there. But yeah, this thing is like, there are light cruisers that have sort of, you know, 8.5 second reloads these days. So, this is an absolute machine gun for a heavy cruiser. It's just an AP only machine gun. Alright, we might want to... no, that's the wrong button. It's the... There we go. It's because we've got both. Oh well. If I get 2 kills, though, it's Captain What's Chops Cunningham, so I will actually get another set of consumables for free, which is more useful if one of those consumables is a heal. But I can't complain too much about it. Yeah, that Atlantico's getting a bit of focus right now. This Adriatico is doing the business, I'll give them that. I'm quite impressed with them so far. Atlantico, not so much doing the business as just getting a bit piled on by everybody. I managed to get a kill there though, that's not too shabby of them. Right, that's the San Diego. There's the first HP regeneration. That's the other bonus of playing this game mode, is actually you do kind of get a ticking heal. Now here we're going to see the weakness in that that's an Izumo, and that's not going to be that easy to... I'm much better off trying to hit this San Diego. Must be where they're being targeted. I think they have that captain skill. Although you would just want to guess at that point that somebody's firing at you. Right, I'm not actually spotted right now. This Izumo's sort of pushed forward into a bad spot. And the Östergötland might actually be here. They've not been spotted. Yeah, there they are. They were on this side, so it was them that grabbed that boost earlier. Yeah, I don't think the Adriatico is going to last. Which is going to be a pity. Yeah, there we go. Oh well, they had a good run in terms of like grabbing stuff. But their hit points ran out. They'd had a chance to back off and let the heal sort of do something. That might have been to their benefit overall. Might have to watch my angle here if this Izumo decides I'm going to be more fun to slap around. Man, this rate of reload on heavy cruiser guns is kind of a bit sick, in the good sense. I'm hip with the lingo. I know the language all the youths use these days. Don't particularly want to get hit though. And I think the North Carolina might be looking the right way. Oh, yep. So you know that can happen. That seems to be a bit of a weird visual bug. I'm not sure why it's doing that. are definitely going to want to try and kill me now, aren't you? Right, should we try and get unspotted? Because that would be... Oh, dearie me! Quite nice if I could get unspotted. Definitely going to beat the reload on that guy, but of course the San Diego. Well, the San Diego at least isn't going to be setting me on fire with those. So that's nice. And we can actually grab that firepower buff. We've only got one heal buff going at the moment, so yeah. So I did mention it was squishy. So obviously I wanted to demonstrate the squishiness. Yes. Yeah, that was one single hit and kablamo. Very unpleasant. We're overall not doing too badly though. I've done a huge amount of damage, unfortunately. But the ideal situation for doing damage is getting broadside cruisers to slap around. And even broadside destroyers, you can do some very unpleasant things to do with these AP shells. If I could get in a position where I could torp the North Carolina, but I don't, like, they'd have to take a fair bit of damage first. The torps, like I said, they do good damage, but they do not, like, you've only got 4 of them. So, they do not have the sort of killer capability that some cruisers do with their torpedoes. Like, this is no Atago. Oh, they went for the boop. Okay. Yeah, let's go for the extra damage buff. And we're also almost getting the center cap, which is nice. We're down to 4 versus 4, but we do have a points lead. I really do try to need to try and not die, basically. It would be really nice to go grab that heal as well, but that would not be a good plan right now. I mean, I'm sneaky, but it's not that fast. If this thing was this sneaky and also, like, in addition to all these, had a speed boost, or even if you could swap out a speed boost for one of these 2 consumables, that might be interesting. But that's not an option. So yeah, if I could get the San Diego broadside, I can do bad things to them. But I suspect they might out-damage me at the moment. So that's not great. I might just hang around here while I'm making this turn. That's about 30 seconds away from popping, so let's do that. Let's speed up my heal. Speed up my heat. What? Yeah. I don't spoonerize that often these days, but it does still happen. And it's always complete nonsense when I do. So what do they got left? 2 cruisers and the Rossier on that side. Right, we really want to take out the San Diego that's sort of alone on this flank, basically. It's no good if we're dealing with stuff coming from the west and then surprise San Diego. So is the minimap the right size? Yes, it is. I think I mentioned that in the last video. I've noticed that sometimes the minimap randomly shrinks. It's very odd. Right, there's the San Diego. Oh, and we won on points. Oh, okay. Well, you know, I helped win, but I was hoping to shoot more stuff. Okay. Well, sometimes, you know, if you're low health, you just kind of have to stay alive, but I really was hoping to shoot more stuff. So that was a game. That was certainly a game. I mean, of the stuff I did get to shoot, the Isamo 35k, but that was against them being broadside, so I was having some upper belt pens there, I think. We'll give that one more go. We'll do one more random battle, and then, like I said, we'll maybe do an op, which I don't normally do, but you know, it's a tier 8 premium, and I know the Mites is kind of the cruiser king of ops, but this is not too bad either. Another tier 9 game. Unfortunately, there is a carrier this time, but at least there's no subs, and it's domination as well. I guess the upside is we might get to see the AA in action. But yeah, otherwise the composition's not too bad. One more destroyer per team. I think, was there fewer cruisers this time? But still enough that I might be able to actually do something. This one would probably pair up quite nicely with a smoke buddy. I mean, you can't quite get the smoke firing stealth that you can in a light cruiser, of course, but yeah, you can put out a fairly mean broadside for a cruiser. So if you're able to sit in smoke and do so with reasonable safety, then that could be a pretty powerful combo. Of course, you would have to be careful you didn't get blind shot in return, because that can still happen, and it's not like you're not putting out a lot of gun tracers with 5 turrets, so yeah. And it's always the issue with faster firing ships as well, that if you are putting out those gun traces in much quicker succession, it makes it that much easier to try and hone in on where you're firing from. So, an early spotting run from our Shikaku. The enemy carries a Pobeda, so, you know, if they start coming for us, it's not like we're going to be able to whittle down the squads so that they are discouraged from making a second pass, because they'll just be dropping and then going home. Because of all the ideas Wargaming came up with, well, Soviet carriers with the single drops are certainly one of them. You at least have decent AA range on this. It's 5.8 kilometers. So yeah, it's maybe enough to deter a regular character carrier, but in terms of actually being useful against something like the Pobeda, maybe not so much. Right, we could perhaps, if I pop the Alaska going to be in range sort of just about. It's not ideal, like we're probably not going to get any citadels from that, but you know, we might get something. And you can see from the ballistics, you know, it is good enough that you can sit behind an island and do stuff like this. Okay, it's Yakuzuki that's in the cap. But with the AP, you know, it's less useful at distance than high explosive. You're much more likely to get misses and bounces at the longer ranges. And oh dear, oh, Yugamo's down already. That's not so good. And the Akatsuki's not looking so great either. Okay, well, that's not a fantastic start. Just get the hit, but they're probably going to dodge those. Also about to have that go down, so that's fine. It might be worth sticking on the extended spotter time. There's certainly different ways. Like, I've got a very standard setup on this, but there's certainly different ways you could do things with your equipment. Spotter returning to ship. But I don't think there's that much room for experimentation, to be honest. Right. Yeah, I really don't want to be doing open water things just now. There's no healing that's going to happen this time, so I'm being a bit more cautious. And the other cap, the C cap, that's not looking great. So in theory we ought to have the absolute numbers advantage here. But mine is not the ship to be pushing in, really. Don't know if everyone's just scared of that Akizuki. Well, the Pommen, of course, has torpedoes as well. Are you coming forwards, Pommen? What are you doing? We do actually have the torp range here. might even be able to get some hits. Right, you are coming forwards, which is fine in terms of shooting you, but it's bad in terms of them maybe then wanting to shoot back at me, which obviously I would not approve of. But we do have torpedoes on the go towards them. I think the destroyer, I don't know what spotted them, but they're obviously a higher priority right now. Okay, you're going to try and pull back in. I think my torpedoes, if I'd aimed them more there, I thought they were coming forwards. But sadly, they decided to pull back, and they might even slightly get away with it. Although, actually, no, they're going to burn out, aren't they? That's fine. Okay, right. It'd be great if we could actually get this cap. I should probably do that now. This is looking a bit messy. I won't lie. This is definitely looking a bit messy. Oh, hey, look, we have ChatGPT on our team. Yeah, if the black was alone, maybe I would consider trying my luck with the Hydro. The Hydro range is okay, as you can see. And the black does have very slow moving torpedoes, but they've got a Synop right behind them, so that's not so welcome. Synop's 16-inch guns will absolutely tear me a new one at close range. Anyway, let's get in the cap and grab that, because that would seem to be rather important right now. Because they've got one cap and they're about to get two. Am I going to get wheel firing at that Bismarck right now? Yes, I am. But there's quite possibly about to be blame spotting. Yeah, the planes are coming this way. Well, that's going to be an... Oh, 5 knot pence, yeah. Are you going for the Gascoigne? I think you are. Oh, hello. There is indeed the black. That's not what I wanted, but hopefully... It's like spiders. They're more scared of you than you are of them. Maybe. Maybe. Right, this time let's use the Hydro for real. The Johan is coming around the corner, and I do not approve of that. So we're going to get my turrets around that way. And they will probably take notice of me. In fact, lots of people are taking notice of me right now, so that's obviously super welcome. And I'm very happy about that, as you can tell. The Johan, however, is in trouble. I can't really do anything about that black, though. Yeah, I'm just going to keep getting a reset if I stick around here. Oh, yep, that's like 40% of my health gone already. Fantastic. Well, so much for getting a cap. The black decided they were, in fact, going to be cheeky and go in there, so... yeah, I'm having a real good time right now. This is, like I said, this is not a ship that stands up to punishment in any way. Come on, turrets! Yeah, I see. You're getting a cheeky little couple of shots, but make you pay something for that at least. Can I get torpedoes? Am I in any way going to be able to get unspotted here? Probably not. I think I'm probably just going to... Oh, good. There's a Synop. That's excellent. Yeah, this game is kind of balked, I think. We're about to reload at least. Hello, Synop. Yes, I see you there. Can I get my torpedoes away before I die at least? Probably not. Oh, and there's the Pobeda. Well, the 3 microseconds that it's going to be, you know, I might as well use my defensive and cost them something. I think we're not winning this one, you guys. Yeah, this was just a bit of a mess overall, wasn't it? Just a little bit, and that might be an understatement. Okay, I'm not quite sure I'm not dead right just yet, but I'm sure it will be happening, any moment now. There we go, actually got the Synop. Hello, Alaska. Yep, you're coming to kill me. Okay. Right, well, our team did not do well overall, and when you're in a squishy cruiser, there's a limit to what you can do. I was hoping for a better showing, but the team was not cooperative. So that's the downside of a ship like the Hampshire. It's not going to carry much on its own. You just don't have the ability to sustain yourself throughout a battle. You just take far too much damage too easily for playing in any way aggressively. So, yeah. But this flank was a disaster. We had almost all of our ships here, and we failed to take the cap. We failed to push. The other flank just got rolled over, and then they just pushed across, and hey presto, this is where we are. Well, there we go. Slightly unsurprising result. Yeah. Oh well. That enemy division fairly dominated things. Well, these things happen. You know, you can have good games in this, I swear. It's just, well, the first one we won on points, and then that one, the team flopped. So as a bonus, let's try for an operation, and I can show you how it does in those. So we have Raptor Rescue. This is actually one that does have a heal in it, a healing area. So yeah, we've actually got another Hampshire as well. So we'll see how we do, but we should do okay. You do get a reasonable number of broadside cruisers to slap about in this one. So yeah, we'll hopefully manage to have a slightly better showing. I think my best damage in an operation so far was something like 300k. But that did involve fair numbers of torpedo hits as well. I don't think I'll manage that this time though, but we'll see. Maybe it goes hilariously wrong and I'm the one having to end up doing all the damage. So for those that don't know Raptor, which, I mean, I'm sure most people do, this is one of the ones with a bit more randomization than most. So we'll either end up exiting over here or down here somewhere, and there's different variations of which groups of enemies we can face, and also where they spawn from. So I don't know exactly how this is going to go. I kind of wish more operations were like this. They had a little bit more variation in them. But a lot of them aren't. They might have a bit of variation in the composition of which actual ships are in which kind of like destroyer slots and cruiser slots based on what your own ships are. But I mean, this one, it's all tier 8s. So we're going to have some are going to be fixed, like the Fuso and the Alba, but they will have more hit points. Is how they do that. But other things like the Shiratsu, you know, sometimes that can be a tier 6. I think, can it even be a tier 5 destroyer still these days? I don't know. Maybe if everybody was in tier 6s, that would only be a tier 5 destroyer. So as long as I don't get slapped about by the Fuso, which sometimes if you're unlucky in a cruiser at this stage, the Fuso can just decide to do all of the bad things to you. But we have enough firepower here to hopefully put them down. Yeah, the Megami there, finding that out the hard way. But sometimes it pays to, you know, let somebody else take the hits, just pull away and let something else be the closest thing. Although sometimes the AI, like, I think it used to a lot more focus on hit points, and I think these days it's been tweaked so that it more focuses on proximity, which is probably for the better, because it made playing certain classes very, very tricky. Right, I'm going to keep pew-pewing and see if any of my shells get me spotted. And if they don't, well, we'll know stuff spawning to the south. Oh, we actually have a carrier, though. The carrier could, in theory, like having a carrier in this op is quite useful. The carrier could spot. If I'm in a carrier, usually I'll send planes up here, drop fighters, and of course they'll spot anything. But our CV doesn't seem to be really doing that. No, they're just going straight for the Shikaku, don't they? Okay. The spotting would have been nice, because sometimes you think, oh, okay, they're not coming from that direction, and then they actually do pop up. Here's where radio location would also be a useful thing, but I don't have it on this captain. Yes, hello, Vanguard. Hey, look, another cruiser, Vanguard. Vanguard's so squishy. You don't see Vanguard very often. It's not a super rewarding ship to play in terms of fun factor. Quite a high skill ceiling. It's like the guns just don't feel that rewarding. And if it had like super turbo AA maybe, considering it's supposed to be sort of Cold War era AA, but sadly it's not good enough to really feel like a no-fly zone. I still haven't. I think they must have spawned up there, and it's just no one's been in a position to spot them. I'm gonna pop round the corner and have a look. See. Yeah, there they are. So they were spawning around there, but it was late enough that nobody actually spotted them, and they didn't spot us. Okay, well that slightly changes things. Normally these cruisers are already dead by this point. But hopefully they won't be too big of a threat. Don't turn, stay broadside. I can't get all the tasty citadels if you don't stay broadside. There we go, triple citadel. And that's not stationary, but it's not moving fast. There's another cruiser around here somewhere as well. They always come in threes. Is that a quote from something? Something about always appearing in threes? I don't know. It feels like it could be or should be. Right. Oh, hello. Not even. I don't know why Miyoko Torps would run out of range. Oh dear. Well, we're a Megami down already and the Raptor's taking flight. You never know. There's always that, that, you know, it's usually down to your teammates, that element of what the heck is happening right now in operations. And in this case, it absolutely is down to teammates. If we lose the Raptor that early, this is going to be embarrassing. Right, what's everyone else doing? I don't know. Come on, shoot the stuff, guys. Shoot the stuff before it kills the Raptor, maybe? Guys? What is happening right now? There we go. Someone else trying to shoot the thing that's steadily killing our ship. I don't know what's happening. This is going to be a funky round if the Raptor is already down to that level of health. Like, this does not speak well to my teammates' situational awareness. It absolutely does not. Right, go on, kill the Miyoko. The Raptor is kind of critically low health at this point. It's only at 15k left. That was me thinking, okay, Raptor Rescue. Everyone knows how to play Raptor Rescue. That shouldn't be too much of a difficult one. And here we are having a very, very challenging round of Raptor Rescue, as one does. I don't know. Right, we've got now at least people with, like, the Mainz is paying attention to these, but I mean, the Megami would have been nice at this point. And we lost the other Hampshire as well. Where did we lose the other Hampshire? Was the other Hampshire trying to go solo for the CV? I think it must have been. Okay, well, ideally we want... Oh, there we go. We want the destroyers to be dropping on ships. I'm trying to hit ships that are in front of the CV and not dropping for the CV itself. Oh, I'm just not giving enough lead there, apparently. So you see, this is why I think you do have... Oh dear. You do have the enhanced AP angles. Right, torpedo hit, that was unpleasant. Okay, we've got the variation where we have the 3 battleships coming up from here, and we're obviously exiting on this side. That's fine. I need to get back in the heel area. 20 seconds to torpedoes. So there we go, that's Citadel at that angle, so that must be improved AP angles. But we're going to have to get ourselves hidden, because I don't want the battleships to particularly be kicking my butt. So you see what I mean about, like, this is about as good a demonstration as I can come up with of the, you know, this thing really good at slapping around cruisers and destroyers, and it's okay against battleships if you can like not be at horrendous amounts of risk of getting slapped yourself and sort of whittling away decent amounts of their health, but you know, it really can't take much punishment in return. So yeah, when I was saying the major downside of this is the lack of heal, you know, this is kind of what I meant. You pay a fairly hefty price for getting that 10-second reload. Or rather, you could look at it the other way around and say you get a rather hefty bonus in having the 10-second reload for not having the heal. Sort of just depends which way you want to slice and dice it, really. I think Mainz is absolutely still the king of ops, but you know, I'm almost at 200k already. This is not terrible at all. But it's, I don't know, it's maybe more desirable as a ship for ops than it is as a ship for randoms. But you know, I've had decent games in this in randoms as well. It's just, it's much more reliable for something like ops. Just because ops themselves tend to be more of a fixed target, shall we say. Right, it's quite tempting to shoot at that CV, but the battleships are the more important target. Let's try to bring my torps out. Should sail into range of that Namagi. Yeah, the battleships, they're the more important thing right now, even though it is very tempting. Because the battleships can do nasty things to you, whereas the carrier is less of an issue. At least in this operation. Oh, don't turn a Margie, you might throw off my torpedoes. Oh, I boosted the wrong side there, but it's fine, they're sort of sailing around to that side. Oh, well, if they don't hit the Amagi, they might well hit the Congo, even though the Congo is kind of like the less important target. The Amagi, this, not Amagi, Mainz. This is why you want to focus the big hurty battleships first. It's quite nice that the Alabama is pulling the focus. So that's what I was saying, you know, I think they refactored the bot logic, as it were, to focus more on closer things than low health, or, you know, not even low health things, but things based on hit points. Because I think in ye oldie days they would have ignored the battleship and tried to pick off all the cruisers first. Right, we're doing some decent damage here. And again, we have nice broadside things to shoot at. I could even... Right, Shikaki's probably not going to last that long, but... yeah, if we get to the point where... let's try and take out the Amagi. And then we'll maybe turn around. Like, the top reload is not actually bad at all. Oh, hello, and also there's a Myoko, and we probably want to kill that post-haste. Because the raptor's still far from full health. Come on, kill the Myoko! Well, I didn't even notice the Myoko, I was so focused on the...
Anti-aircraft gun crews are on
Right. I'm going to have to hope I survive the Amagi. We do have Hydro gun, which is nice. Myoko's down. Ah! No, they killed it. Oh well. Still though, within spitting distance of 300k. So, I feel like if some of my teammates had been a bit more on the ball. Especially the battleship, the Alabama was tanking at least, but I don't think either them or the Vanguard were maybe doing that much damage. And I'm not sure what the per beta was. Who knows? But it was still, it still demonstrated that the guns actually can be pretty powerful. For a heavy cruiser, managing to get sort of 200 plus 300 hit ribbons on something within a, even if it's a round of operations where you're able to fire more continuously, that's not unimpressive. So yeah, overall, I would recommend this more as a ship for operations, if you want something that's has a little more variety than just using mites over and over again, or if you're particularly fond of using Andrew Cunningham, because if you actually get enough torpedo hits to get Witherer, although actually no, you can't get Witherer in ops, can you? You can fire off the 2 kills thing, but you can't. You can't do that. You could potentially get that one though, 4 floods. So, yeah, I mean, if you're particularly wanting to grind Andrew Cunningham, I don't know actually if his skills are that super useful on a Hampshire, but, or any other British commander, really, you don't have to do anything too wacky with the commander here, so, yeah, overall, it's not bad. It's not bad at all, but it's definitely a very kind of specialist ship, and I don't know if you could do anything particularly wacky with it. Would you maybe want torp tubes mod, or defensive mod there, hydro mod there perhaps? Where does this spotter mod even go? I can't remember. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything, some super exotic build that I'm missing, but probably not. Anyway, that's enough waffling for now. That is the Hampshire. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video, and if you have, you can do all the usual things down underneath it. And of course, as always, stay tuned for more.